What if you could watch Wooper jump and dance in a rain puddle, have Vulpix come and show off their cute new outfit, enjoy a nice, calm summer evening and watch the stars together with Dragonite, or chill on the beach with Psyduck and friends with an ice cream? Well, all of this is real and can be enjoyed right now, but it's just not playable. At least, not yet. What if Animal Crossing and Pokemon did a crossover game? What exactly could that be like? What would we want to pull from the original games? And what would we want to change? And is this a possible reality? Surprisingly, yes. And today I'll be explaining exactly why while we explore the highs, the cuteness, the many inevitable problems, and everything in between with this absolute dream of mine. And maybe it's a dream of yours too. In case you're somehow not familiar, Pokemon is a video game and anime series that was first created in 1996. It is the highest growing franchise in the entire world, and it follows the player and protagonist on a journey to meet, catch, battle, and train Pokemon. It's known for its nostalgic charm, fun gameplay, competition, exploration, and of course its characters, the Pokemon. Animal Crossing, however, came out a few years later with its first game release in 2001. You play as a villager who has just newly moved into a town or island, and you are in crippling debt. But it's all worth it, of course, because you get to meet all kinds of cute characters, all of which are either your neighbors, prospective neighbors, or someone visiting the island for something in particular. You get to enjoy time in nature, collecting bugs, fish, and even fossils, helping your neighbors and get to know them. You also get to renovate your home and the town's local museum with your findings, as well as art that you collect. It's loved for the pure enjoyment of a relaxing life in a home all of your own, once you pay off all of your debt, of course. Well, imagine in this game, your neighbors could be your favorite Pokemon. You'd get to interact with them, watch them make friends with one another, you'd get to know them even better when you chat with them, visit their house, find out their favorite activities, what items and foods that they like and dislike, and just enjoy life together. Imagine going out to a new place and stumbling upon a new Pokemon, and instead of catching it, you'll ask it to become your new neighbor. Or do you think that we're still catching them? Honestly, it sounds like something that Tom Nook would do. All of the joys of Animal Crossing, but your fellow neighbors and visitors to the town are Pokemon. Maybe they'd even be able to interact with the current neighbors from Animal Crossing as well. I mean, could you imagine a scenario where Raymond and Meowth were in the same room together? Would they be friends, enemies? I'm not exactly sure. What do you think? But it would definitely be interesting to watch their interactions play out and see them with one another. Honestly, I'm gonna kind of go towards friends. I think that they would be good friends. And you know what's funny? This kind of game is actually much more plausible to happen than you might think. This type of game would be an example of a crossover game, which there are a lot of these games actually, and they pull from some of the most unlikely franchises and bring them together. So what exactly is a crossover game, and where did they come from? Well, a crossover game is a game that features characters, items, or settings from different franchises. An example of a crossover game that you're probably already familiar with is the Super Smash Bros., which is a series of games where all kinds of characters from different franchises come together to battle one another. And you not only play as familiar characters from all sorts of places, but you actually get to play in these different worlds too, and utilize items from all kinds of games. And while this is probably one of the most well-known examples, the world of crossover games has a surprisingly rich and established history, with the first ever crossover game being Konami YY World, which was first released in 1988. The game was the first of its kind that featured characters from other multiple franchises all coming together into one game. Konami YY World featured Konami themselves, there's a Konami man and a Konami lady, and yes, that is their actual names, and of note, Konami Lady was created by a Dr. Cinnamon, for reasons that I will probably never know. It also featured seemingly the most random assortment of characters from other IPs, such as Goemon from the game Gambare Goemon, Simon Belmont III from Castlevania, King Kong, and strangely, I thought that King Kong would have been the weirdest, but no. The most out of left field character is Mikey Walsh, who is a main character from the movie The Goonies. So I have absolutely no idea what the storyline could have occurred to bring these characters together, but it was truly the pioneer for crossover games. I will further note though that this game was actually only ever released in Japan. It never had a global release, and from what I can gather, one of the earliest crossover games that had a more global release was actually the original Tetris. In the original multiplayer mode, Mario and Luigi would appear, and most astoundingly, there's a secret ending to Tetris that features Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Link, and Pit all dancing and playing instruments to congratulate you for reaching this secret ending. That's pretty amazing if you think about it. Kind of iconic. And funnily enough, Animal Crossing itself is already technically considered a crossover game, with Animal Crossing New Horizons offering the ability for you to collect Mario costumes and decorations. I vividly remember this during the pandemic. Suddenly, everybody had warp pipes like everywhere on their island due to this collaboration. Like entire islands were completely redesigned just around the Mario stuff. So it is very much possible where in the future, Pokemon and Animal Crossing could come together like this. Would they come together exactly in the same way that we see here? Actually, what is it that we're looking at anyways? Well, these are renderings that were made by a 3D model artist named Bifu, and they were also inspired by many other artists' ideas and iterations of what this potential collaboration might look like. To make these, Bifu uses a software called Blender, which is a free program that is used by both hobbyists and professionals. It's a program that's used to render many of the games that you might already play, such as New Super Mario Bros., Mario vs. Luigi, Ultra Kill, and more. By creating and molding 3D characters in a 3D space, artists are able to create all kinds of scenarios and develop the games that we know and love. I've personally been interested in trying my hands at 3D modeling at some point. I think it's a really amazing medium. I downloaded Blender on my computer and I got a little bit overwhelmed, so I kind of stopped. But what do you think? I mean, you could even try it right now if you have a computer. It's free. Artists truly have so much power in their hands. They're able to make dreams a reality and bring to life the things that we never thought would be possible or that we couldn't even consider for ourselves. So if you're at all interested, I would encourage you to give it a try. It might be overwhelming at first, but learning any new skill just takes time and patience. I believe that you're able to do it if you'd like to. I'm not exactly sure if a game like this would look exactly like this, but I personally love this nostalgic aesthetic style of the earlier Animal Crossing games. I mean, Pokemon has been dabbling in a more chibi-like art style with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, even though it's not my personal favorite, but I know some people do like it. As for Animal Crossing, they have remained largely true to the same original style. They've just gotten a lot sleeker over time. Although I do have an affinity for the earlier styles personally, I think a game like this could look amazing in the current style as well. What's your favorite Animal Crossing and Pokemon styles? Because I would say that Pokemon's probably changed the most, but which ones do you like? I absolutely love imagining a game like this because it brings up so many questions and so many potential problems. Like, are all of your neighbors animals and Pokemon? Are you a villager or a trainer? Or are you a Pokemon yourself? For me personally, I would love to be a villager slash trainer, but maybe others would like to take this opportunity to become a Pokemon themselves. What would you want? Also, it has to be said, but what happens with fishing? I feel feel like we should all just collectively vote that fish are regular fish. I don't want Cubone catching a Magikarp and putting it in its pocket and eventually putting it on display at the museum. But tell me what you think. And what if the trainers came to visit your town along with other Pokemon? You could have familiar faces like Misty, Brock, May. The possibilities are really interesting. And maybe even Gary. And is there a Team Rocket trying to steal your villagers? I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of funny. Maybe we should make that a thing. If anything, they would definitely be very good friends with our good art pal Red. As for the setting, I think that you would be settled in one town, but you could take a boat or a plane to neighboring villages and towns to meet new folks. Another question that I have is, will we still be able to battle at gyms? Maybe we could just encourage our neighbors to go out and fight, and then they would bring back the badges for our town. I actually like that idea. I think that that would be really, really cool. Then the battles and the training becomes a community activity that you do with your town. Wait, would that mean that when you gather new villagers, it's like you're putting together your Pokemon party? I think we're onto something. I think that's pretty cool. Let me know what you think. I'm also considering places like the Pokemon Center and the shop. The shops in Pokemon are pretty generic as is, so Tom Nook could definitely still take the lead on things, unless Zigzagoon suddenly says otherwise. And if you didn't know, Zigzagoon is also a raccoon like Tom Nook, so that's why. They look very different. I think Tom Nook would be kind of like the alpha in this situation, but let me know what you think. As for the Pokemon Center, which is the hospital in Pokemon, you could still have Nurse Joy and Chansey, of course, and I like the idea of the mainstay people still being regulars to your town. I don't know about Officer Jenny, though. I think in the earlier Animal Crossings, there was a police station. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty positive that there was a police station in Animal Crossing in the earlier ones. Officer Jenny could be there, but do we want that? I don't know. You let me know what you think. As for the Able Sisters, which is the clothing store in Animal Crossing, they could work with Shaman, which is also a hedgehog. But to be honest, I kind of see Mimikyu running the show here. Even if it were like behind the scenes, we don't really know what Mimikyu looks like under there. And they give kind of like a similar dark vibe that Tom Nook does. They'd be in cahoots of some sorts, I think. You could have loads of other new shops as well. I think that there's a lot of possibilities available. Plus, just imagine Rowlet and Blathers hanging out in the museum together. And frankly, I think that Blathers could use the help. He's getting rather sleepy nowadays, and I think that he deserves his rest. And Celeste is always running around outside anyways, so... And I don't know about you, but Terapagos is my mayor. I don't care that he's baby. Honestly, we need a new generation in office, and Terapagos is it. This could be a world where Pokemon and villagers truly live together. Of course, this does bring up issues of your neighbors potentially fighting all of the time, what with all the potential battles and whatnot, but hey, maybe that's just some of the added charm. I do kind of miss the days where there was like this tension in certain interactions in Animal Crossing. I mean, have you heard about the panic that you would feel when Rossetti suddenly appeared to yell at you? It was terrifying. I think some of that tension is good. I mean, just imagine if your neighbor who was Charizard accidentally caught one of the flowers in like Blossom's garden on fire, and then Squirtle and then Marina the octopus had to come running to put out the fire. Maybe that's why battles end up happening in the first place, from interactions that happen in the town itself. Kind of an interesting thought, if you ask me. Like, scenarios like this are exactly what I wish that both of these series had more of. My biggest issue with the current Animal Crossing is a lack of dialogue and personality, like true personality, not just I'm a jock, to the characters. And I've always wanted Pokemon to feel as immersive as possible. They off-camera stuff way too often. I think that this opens up to some really amazing dialogue and storylines within the game itself amongst all of these different characters, and it just sounds like a really wholesome, fun time. And just imagine the shiny hunting. If you're not familiar, in Pokemon games, there are shiny variations of Pokemon that have different colors and variations from the typical Pokemon. These are rare, and some people absolutely love to shiny hunt. enjoyment. They will dedicate so much time and planning to find as many Pokemon that are shiny as possible, or at least their favorite. I've never tried it myself, but there is a lot that can go into it. Well, funnily enough, there's already a term in Animal Crossing called villager hunting, where you go and you try to get the villager that you have in mind. It's usually a lot of time and luck that goes into getting exactly the character that you have in mind. So imagine if in this game you could combine shiny hunting and villager hunting into one. There would definitely be some villagers out there with only shiny Pokemon, and honestly, I would love to see it. Just the level of creativity that folks could have when designing and decorating their villages in all these different scenario cases, it would be pretty unreal and just amazing to see. And can we talk about the potential music? I'm already obsessed with both Pokemon and Animal Crossing music. I love me the rain soundtrack for Animal Crossing, and I also like the water songs for Pokemon. That is not what either of these are called, but I like both of them. So imagine combining the two. I would probably be the most relaxed and productive person on the planet. I love listening to that kind of music while I'm working or just like doing stuff. It's the best. I can't be the only one who does that, but I would love if we had like some sort of hybrid soundtrack of these two different franchises, because both of their respective music is just amazing. And you know what? Yes, in case you were wondering, to find Mew and make him become a villager, you will need to stand by the truck and spin in a circle 5 times to make him appear. This game kind of checks so many boxes for me that I wish that the respective games already did. While I love both Pokemon and Animal Crossing on their own, there are certain things when it comes to world building and interaction that I would love to see more of. Ideas like this truly make me so happy just to even think about. And while these aren't a reality, at least not yet, I think that there's a lot to be said from the enjoyment that I've had just imagining these scenarios. What would you want from a game like this? And what Pokemon are your favorite that you would definitely want to make sure are in your village? As for me, I would definitely want Togekiss, Vulpix, Dragonair, Bulbasaur, Clodsire would be nice too. Let me know what your thoughts are about everything in the comments down below. There are so many cool ideas that I know I haven't even considered yet. If you'd be interested in a game like this, or if you want to support the channel, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're on our way to 6,000 subscribers and maybe eventually to 10K. So if you like videos like these, please consider supporting in the ways that you can. While doing research for this video, I came across a ton of super interesting crossover games, not just Smash Bros. So if you have any ideas for crossover games that you think that we should explore, or if you'd like me to look into other games similar to these that do already exist, please let me know. And make sure to go send Bifu some love from me. This has been a super fun idea to explore. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye!